Level 1. The new labourer. You step onto the construction site before sunrise. The air smells like wet concrete, diesel, dust and cold metal. A crane turns slowly above you, its long arm cutting across the pale morning sky. Trucks beep as they reverse. Somewhere inside the unfinished building, a drill screams against concrete, sharp enough to make your teeth tighten. A foreman hands you a hard hat, a reflective vest, and gloves that still smell like someone else's sweat. "Stay close," he says, "and don't stand where things can fall." You look up. Steel beams rise over you like the bones of something giant. Workers move with purpose, carrying tools, shouting over engines, climbing ladders, stepping around open trenches as if they already know every danger by heart. You do not know where to stand yet. You are the new guy, the one who carries, cleans, waits and learns. But every building begins with someone at the bottom, looking up. How far can you climb before the job starts building you too? Level 2, the material runner. By the second week, you learn that the lowest person on a construction site is also the one who moves the most. You are not trusted with the saw yet. You are not trusted with the plans. Nobody asks you to measure, cut, weld, frame, wire, pour, or inspect. But everyone needs you. A carpenter shouts for more plywood from the other side of the slab. An electrician needs conduit carried up 2 flights of unfinished stairs. A plumber points toward a stack of pipe and says, "Bring those over here." Someone else needs a ladder moved, someone needs extension cords, someone needs buckets cleared from a walkway before the concrete truck arrives. You run, across mud, over cables, around rebar sticking out of the ground like metal ribs. Your boots get heavier with every step. Dust sticks to your sweat. Your shoulders ache from carrying things that are always awkward, never balanced, and somehow needed right now. If you are slow, someone yells. If you bring the wrong thing, someone yells louder. At first it feels like nobody respects you. Then you start to notice something. The site depends on motion. Materials must arrive at the right place before the right worker can begin. A missing board delays a wall. A missing tool slows a crew. A blocked path makes a machine wait. And when a machine waits, money disappears by the minute. You are still at the bottom. But you are beginning to understand the rhythm of the job. You learn which workers explain and which only bark. You learn where not to walk when a load is overhead. You learn to listen for backup alarms without turning your head every time. You learn that construction is not chaos. It is pressure moving through people. And for now, you are the one carrying it. But soon, carrying will not be enough. To climb higher, you must learn how to build. Level 3, the skilled apprentice. You move up when one of the older tradesmen stops calling you new guy. It happens on a hot morning when you bring him the right tool before he asks for it. He looks at you, then at the tape measure clipped to your belt and says, "Come here, hold this end." That is how your apprenticeship begins. At first the work looks simple from the outside. Measure the board, mark the line, hold the pipe steady, keep the ladder from shaking, pass the drill, watch the level, clean the cut. Do not talk too much, but every small task carries a rule you do not know yet. A line must be marked on the correct side of the blade. A wall stud must sit exactly where the plan says, not where it looks close enough. A pipe must slope just enough to drain, but not so much that it throws off the rest of the run. A hole drilled in the wrong place is not just a hole. It is a problem someone else must hide, fix, or explain. Your hands start learning the language of the site. The weight of a tape measure snapping back. The vibration of a drill when the bit bites cleanly. The smell of sawdust mixing with concrete dust. The sting in your eyes when wind pushes grit under your safety glasses. Your mentor does not praise you often. He corrects your stance. He tells you to keep your fingers clear. He makes you redo a mark because it is off by less than half an inch. At first it feels cruel. Then you watch him reject his own work for the same reason. That is when you understand. Skill is not speed. Skill is caring about mistakes before anyone else can see them. If one wrong measurement can change the whole wall, how much can one mistake change you? But once you learn to build under someone else's eye, the next step is doing the work under your own name. Level 4. The certified tradesman. The day you become a certified tradesman, the site stops treating you like someone who is only learning. Now your name is attached to the work. You arrive with your own tools worn in the places your hands touch most. Your tape measure clips to your belt without thinking. Your pencil sits behind your ear. Your boots know the path from the gate to the floor where your crew is working. No one tells you to just watch anymore. They point to the plans and say, "That section is yours." The words feel good for about 3 seconds. Then the pressure settles in. You are assigned a run of wall framing near the edge of the 3rd floor. The air is hotter up here. Wind moves through the open structure. Below you, trucks, workers, and stacks of material look smaller than they should. Around you, the building is still a skeleton of beams, plywood, cables, and temporary railings. You check the plan twice, then a 3rd time. Because now if something is wrong, it is not a beginner's mistake. It is your mistake. You mark the layout. Cut the material, set the first piece. Check the level. Fasten it down. Every movement is familiar, but nothing feels casual. A bad cut wastes material. A crooked frame slows drywall. A misplaced opening forces another trade to adjust. One careless shortcut can travel through the whole building like a crack. A younger worker watches you now, waiting for instructions. You realize you have become the person you used to fear bothering. By midday, sweat runs under your hard hat. Dust sticks to your neck. Your arms ache, but when you step back, the section stands straight. For the first time, you see something you built taking shape in the larger structure, and it feels like pride. But pride is dangerous on a construction site. Because the higher you climb, the heavier your mistakes become. Level 5, the machine operator. The first time you sit inside a machine, the construction site changes shape. From the ground, everything was larger than you. Trucks, beams, cranes, stacked lumber, concrete forms, moving loads. You were the one looking up, stepping aside, staying clear. Now people step aside for you. You climb into the cab of a telehandler, close the door, and place your hands on the controls. The seat vibrates under your body. Dust clings to the glass. Through the windshield, the site looks both closer and farther away, like you are watching it through a dirty aquarium. A worker on the ground raises one hand. Slow. Another points toward a stack of material that needs to be lifted to the 2nd floor. You ease the machine forward. The tires roll over packed dirt. The boom extends, the forks slide under the load. For a moment it feels almost simple. Then the weight rises. The whole machine shifts slightly beneath you. Your stomach tightens. You understand immediately that power is not the same as control. The machine can lift more than your body ever could, but it also multiplies every mistake you make. A turn too fast, a load too high, a blind spot ignored, a signal misunderstood. One wrong movement can crush material, bend steel, smash a wall, or send someone diving out of the way. The radio cracks in your ear. Hold there, you're close to the edge. You freeze. Below you, workers look small. Too small. You lower the load inch by inch, listening to the engine, watching the hand signals, feeling every movement through the controls. When the material finally lands safely, nobody cheers. They just go back to work. That is how you know you did it right. How much power can sit behind a machine before one wrong move becomes a disaster? Level 6. The crew lead. You become crew lead on a morning when the foreman is short one person, the delivery truck is late, and half the site is already behind schedule. He points at you near the material stack and says, "Take 3 guys and finish that section before lunch." That is all. No speech, no warning. No time to feel ready. Suddenly the work is no longer only in your hands. It is in your voice. You stand with 3 workers in front of you. One apprentice still afraid to make decisions, one older tradesman who hates being told what to do, and one labourer who keeps checking his phone because he is exhausted from a second job. You know the task. Frame the section. Clear the path. Keep materials moving, stay safe. Do not slow the next crew. It sounds simple until everyone starts pulling in different directions. The apprentice asks where to start. The older worker says the plan is wrong. The labourer cannot find the right fasteners. A plumber nearby complains that your stack of materials is blocking his access. Somewhere behind you, a saw screams through wood, and the radio keeps crackling with updates you only half hear. You want to grab the tools and do everything yourself. It would be faster. But that is not leadership. Leadership is explaining the work clearly when your own head is full. It is correcting someone without humiliating him. It is telling the older tradesman you hear him, but the plan still needs to be checked before anyone changes it. It is sending the tired labourer for water before his mistake becomes someone's injury. By noon, the section is not perfect, but it is standing. And so is your crew. For the first time, you understand that building is not just wood, steel, concrete, and machines. It is people under pressure, trying not to break before the structure does. And soon your responsibility will expand from one crew to the safety of everyone on site. Level 7. The safety supervisor. You become the safety supervisor after you have seen enough close calls to stop laughing at the word accident. A board slipped from a scaffold and landed 3 feet from a worker's boots. A labourer stepped backward into an uncovered opening and caught himself only because someone grabbed his vest. A saw kicked hard enough to leave a man staring at his own hands like he had just met them for the first time. Nothing happened, people said. But you know better now. Nothing happened because luck stepped in before gravity did. Your new job is to notice danger before it becomes a story told in the break room with a lower voice. You walk the site with a clipboard, radio and hard hat, checking guardrails, extension cords, ladders, harnesses, trenches, temporary stairs, and the small shortcuts workers take when they are tired, rushed, or too confident. At first, people hate seeing you coming. A crew lead rolls his eyes when you tell him to secure a loose railing. A machine operator says he only needs 2 minutes to move a load without a spotter. A worker complains that tying off slows him down. Everyone wants the job done faster. Nobody wants to be the reason it stops. Then you see a young apprentice standing too close under a suspended load. You shout before you think. The whole area freezes, the load swings slightly in the air, heavy enough to end a life without touching the ground first. The apprentice steps back, pale and embarrassed. The operator curses under his breath. The crew loses 5 minutes resetting the lift. But the apprentice walks away. That is the math of this rank. You trade speed for people who get to go home. What is the cost of speed when safety is the thing everyone notices only after it fails? Level 8. The site foreman. When you become the site foreman, the construction site stops sounding like noise. It becomes information. The backup alarm from the concrete truck means the pour is starting late. The saws on the 4th floor mean the framing crew is moving again. The silence near the south stairwell means someone is waiting for an answer. The angry voice on the radio means 2 trades have reached the same space at the same time, and neither one wants to move. You start each morning before the crews spread out. Plans under one arm, radio clipped to your vest, coffee already cold in your hand. You walk the site while the sky is still pale, checking deliveries, open edges, material stacks, weather, access paths, and the places where yesterday's problems will become today's delays. Everyone needs you. The electrician says the wall cannot close until his conduit is inspected. The plumber says the electrician is blocking his run. The concrete crew says they need the forms cleared now. The delivery driver says he cannot wait another hour. The owner's representative is coming at noon. The inspector may show up any time. You no longer build one section, you move the whole site. And the site fights back. A storm rolls in earlier than expected. A shipment arrives with the wrong size steel. One crew is missing 2 workers. A lift breaks near the loading area. A young labourer cuts through a marked walkway because nobody explained the hazard clearly enough. Every small problem wants to become a large one. So you keep walking. You answer the radio. You redraw the sequence. You move one crew upstairs and another outside. You calm the angry subcontractor without promising what you cannot give. You tell the project manager the truth even when the truth is ugly. By sunset, the building has changed. Only a little, but enough. And tomorrow everyone will ask you to make it happen again. Level 9, the project manager. When you become the project manager, the site follows you home. Not in mud on your boots or dust in your hair, though some of that still happens. It follows you through emails, schedules, cost reports, change orders, inspection notes, subcontractor calls, and messages that arrive long after the crews have gone home. Your office is a trailer at the edge of the site. The floor shakes when trucks pass outside. The walls are covered with drawings, calendars, safety notices, delivery schedules, and red marks where the project is already slipping. Through the window you can see the building rising floor by floor while your laptop shows the part no one outside the trailer sees. Numbers, dates, penalties, delays. A concrete pour moved by one day changes the framing schedule. A late steel delivery pushes back the fireproofing crew. A failed inspection blocks drywall. A design change from the owner adds cost, and every subcontractor wants to know who is paying for it. You used to think construction happened with hands. Now you see how much of it happens through decisions. A foreman calls because two trades are fighting over space on level 6. The owner wants faster progress before the next funding meeting. The accountant asks why labor hours are running high. A subcontractor threatens to pull his crew if an invoice is not approved. Everyone speaks as if their problem is the only problem. And you have to hold them all in your head at once. You walk the site every afternoon because you are afraid of becoming someone who only knows the building through spreadsheets. You touch the concrete. You look at the workers. You listen to the machines. You remind yourself that every line in your schedule lands on someone's back. When concrete, contracts, money, and human lives all depend on your decisions, is this still just a job? Above this level, there is one seat left, the one where every risk becomes yours. Level 10, the general contractor. At the top, the construction site looks different. You no longer see only beams, trucks, scaffolds, tools, and crews moving through dust. You see contracts, insurance, schedules, liability, reputation, cash flow, weather delays, labor shortages, material prices. Every moving piece has a cost, and every cost has someone waiting behind it. You stand on the upper floor of the unfinished building with a hard hat under your arm. Below you, the site is alive. A crane swings steel into place. Workers in reflective vests cross the slab. A concrete truck backs toward the pump. Radios crackle from every direction. The building is not finished yet, but it already feels too large for one person to hold. And still everyone looks to you. The project manager needs approval for a change order. The foreman needs more manpower. The safety supervisor wants a shutdown near the south edge. The owner wants the schedule pulled tighter. A subcontractor wants payment before sending more workers. Every answer you give helps someone and hurts someone else. This is the rank you once imagined as control, but control is not what it feels like. It feels like weight. Because now a shortcut is not just a shortcut. It is your risk. A delay is not just a delay. It is your penalty. A bad hire is not just an inconvenience. It is your responsibility. A serious accident is not just a tragedy on the site. It is a name you may carry for the rest of your life. You look down at the labourers moving materials across the ground floor. One of them pauses, looks up, and adjusts his hard hat. For a second you see yourself, after climbing every rank. Do you control the construction site, or has the site built you into something else? You begin at the bottom, a new labourer in a hard hat that does not feel like yours yet, standing in dust before sunrise, trying to understand where it is safe to place your feet. You carry materials, learn from older hands, make your first marks, build your first section, operate your first machine, and slowly become someone other workers trust. Then you climb higher. You lead a crew. You stop unsafe work. You coordinate the site. You manage drawings, contracts, delays, money, and people who all need answers at the same time. At every level the work changes, but the pressure never disappears, it only changes shape. And by the end you understand something most people never see. A building is not just concrete, steel, glass and money. It is sawbacks, burned skin, dusty lungs, careful measurements, close calls, quiet pride, hard decisions, and thousands of small moments where someone chooses to do the job right, even when faster would be easier. So the next time you look up at a tower, a bridge, or a new building rising over the street, ask yourself, who stood at the bottom long before the skyline changed? If this journey made you see construction differently, like the video, share it, and comment which hidden world you want to experience next.